Hi, and welcome to the R2RB Indie Artists Podcast. And today I have with me Sarah and the Others. They are an independent artist group from the UK, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So who's going first?
They're pointing at me. So that'll be me. My name is Pete. What do you want to know?
Well, I just figure you can introduce yourselves first, and then we'll get into who you are.
Okay, well, I'm Pete.
I'm
I play
Sarah.
guitar.
And I'm Steve.
Okay, so we have Sarah, Pete, and Steve. I am so happy that you are here with me today, and it's so nice to meet you all. And I usually like to ask 2 questions to get us warmed up, but since there are a few of you today, I'm just going to ask one. First question is, what is your favorite app on your phone and why?
Hey.
I don't really have one. I don't like the phone. It's a question of like, what's my least annoying app, I think, and that would be Facebook because it keeps me in touch with people.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I think mine would have to be Messenger because it keeps me in touch with everyone I need to be in touch with.
Okay.
My favourite apps are on my laptop. So
Oh, all right.
Speaking to people for me.
And Steve?
Mine is probably Reverb. Far too much of my time looking at bass guitars I don't need and can't possibly afford.
Sounds like somebody else I know. Next question is, how did you come up with your names, Sarah and the Others?
I didn't. They did, and I hate it. It was about 4 months. There was loads and loads and loads and loads of names banded around, and none of us could really agree,
No.
did we? And we were in a band before called ABC Lewis, and I think it was just payback from Lewis, who was our drummer. We hated that band being called after him, and we put the last few remaining options into a hat, and this one came out, and now we're stuck with it. Putting it to Sato because
It was kind of temporary, wasn't it?
It was.
Until we could hopefully come up with something better, and we never did, and you very graciously eventually gave in.
I did give in.
Deb, they're telling lies. It's all about me, all right? So I'm going to be front and centre.
Please have my name on the tin, yeah. If you knew that.
She does just refer to us as others.
They're on my
Other number 1, number 2, and number 3.
I actually had some T-shirts done, which I gave a couple of Sarah, which said "I'm Sarah," and then me and Steve got one with just one of the others.
But I love that. That just, it works, and, people know you now as Sarah and the Others.
Yeah.
And they eventually find out who Pete and Steve are, right, along the way.
Yeah.
Well, you sound like you all get along well. Was that always the case?
Yeah, from the get-go. Yeah,
Nice.
we all just together really well, really quickly.
Yeah, surprisingly easy.
We're all very, very different people, very different like tastes in music and so on, but we do just seem to gel really well. It works.
And how did you all meet?
Most of us met through ABC Lewis, didn't we?
Yeah.
Via Lewis. And that kind of petered out after 2 gigs? And then we decided we were going to reform. Our old bassist decided he wasn't going to continue, so Lewis put a shout out first.
Yeah, I met Lewis separately to that when I was sort of trying to start a band with another guitar player. And we advertised for a drummer, and Lou showed up a couple of times. And he kind of spoke to me after the second rehearsal we had together and said, I don't think this is going to work. But my old band are looking at reforming. Are you interested in joining that instead? I wandered along to a rehearsal and they let me stay. It's very nice of them.
It's always a good thing.
We had a keys player for a little while as well. Matthew. Say keys, he was an actual qualified pianist, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he never stood up for a gig. He always sat down and he was
proper classical.
Oh, he was awesome. He was absolutely awesome. But unfortunately during COVID we sort of had a bit of a break and then he didn't come back after that. So he moved on to other things. But we wish him well. We do miss him though.
Yeah, it was a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So the 4 of you have been together for how long now?
It was September 2016.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice.
Young then.
We all were. Yeah.
We were all young there.
You've always been the baby.
Who's been the baby, Steve?
It's all relative. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm not young at all.
Oh, you're young. Wait till you get to be my age.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you forget things. So like, oh my gosh, I have more books to look at, to keep notes in, and I still forget things, let me tell you. So before Sarah and the Others, what were you doing? Were you in other, obviously you were probably in other bands, other work? Steve, why don't we start with you?
So, yeah, I mean, I've been playing since I was a teenager, but it was only a couple of years before I met these guys that I started looking at joining a band of any sort. Frankly, they thought terrified of me. No, yes, it does, yeah. So I had a couple of little things that went for a few months that just didn't work out, and then happened to stumble upon these guys, or they stumbled upon me. And, yeah, but as a day job, I'm a librarian, which is the least rock and roll
Wow.
job you can possibly have.
Funny you should say that, because I've actually have been looking at a few positions as a librarian here, part-time. So that's cool, though. Librarian during the day and musician at night. I don't know. That kind of sounds like a Marvel movie there somewhere along the line.
Super suit on today, but
Left his coat at home.
yeah.
Oh, gosh. And Pete, what about you?
Yeah, well, I've played in bands for too long. Always enjoyed it, always loved it. I mean, I started off when I was a kid, I was playing my own stuff, and then I got old enough to play in club bands and not feel worried about playing other people's music. I guess the last proper band I was in before I joined what was ABC Lewis back in the early 2000s, when I was going out as a duo with my wife, and we used to live in Hong Kong, and we had a residency in a club over in Hong Kong.
And so that led you, and now here you are with Sarah. And Sarah, what about you?
I'm a bit of a late starter. My father's very musical, so I would sing with my dad when he played his guitar down the bottom of the garden when I was a little kid, and then sort of like in his music room as I got older. It wasn't until after I had children that I needed something else to do other than just be a mum, that I got into duetting with a friend of mine, and we did a few pubs and clubs and one wedding, but it was to backing track. It was all right, but it didn't really float my boat as much, and it wasn't until my next door neighbour, who was in ABC Lewis, introduced me to a live band, and I went along for the first time absolutely petrified, equally as hooked after the first rehearsal. It's like, oh yeah, I'll have some of that. Bit of a reluctant performer. I'm not a natural performer. I'd rather do it in my bedroom, to be honest.
It's talking to the audience.
Yeah, I don't. I can sing to an audience, but I really struggle to talk to them, and I usually pass that off onto other people.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not easy performing in front of people, right?
It's not. We're not that way inclined. No, it's not. But it's too much fun to not push yourself to do it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Who's influenced your music career?
These guys, definitely. Because I was just, like I say, just sing with my dad, the Barbara Streisand, Dolly Parton, Queen, ELO. And then, it wasn't until I joined a band that as a woman as well, you can sing geezer songs quite well. Yeah.
Pete, what about you?
Who's influenced me? I'm going back to the 70s. I got turned on to music in a big way by a band called Blue, who you won't have heard of, except for the band that came along after them, the boy band called Blue. I didn't know you were a boy band. Yeah, not the boy band. This was a Scottish rock band called Blue, and I was sitting when I was off. It was school holidays, and I was listening to the radio, and this song came on called Little Jodie, which we've now covered, and I thought, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to play. That really got me into sort of rock and roll, if you like, and then from there. Thin Lizzy, Deep Purple, Status Quo, that all was a big thing for me. And then in the 80s, it was more the sort of what's going on. Aha, I really loved Aha in the 80s. And I love 80s music. I think 80s music is really, really something very different, very specific. You can listen to a song and you can say, that's 80s.
Yes.
Not just the style of music, but the sounds that they use. So, that's really my influences.
And Pete, how old were you when you first really realized you wanted to be, you liked the music, it kind of stuck with you, and you were you young?
13.
That seems to be the average age when I ask that question.
I think there's a point in your teens, isn't there, where it's around that period where your taste might change a bit and you get into things more seriously if you're going to.
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
Mine, possibly a little older than 13, maybe 15, 16. I got into a couple of things at the same time. A lot of 60s and 70s rock and pop. The Beatles started with that, Pink Floyd, Stones, that kind of thing. And sort of 90s British indie. So Oasis were the big name around that time. I later got into Manic Street Preachers and Suede, who are massive influences for me, although not massively well known in the States. But 16, I wanted to play guitar because of George Harrison. started badly. After a couple of years, I still do dabble in guitar, but I'm not a natural guitar.
Okay.
I started realising I was paying more attention to what the bass was doing in a lot of songs. Well, it was interesting, which in a lot of later people's reviews, McCartney and John Entwistle making me go, you should try bass. And it just felt a more natural fit for me.
Oh, nice. All right. How long were you together before you recorded your first song?
We were talking about this earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
I had a quick look. It's not too late? Is that the first?
No. So during lockdown, we did, to keep the band going, because obviously we couldn't play together, we did a number of videos.
The isolation tapes.
Yeah.
I saw those.
Yeah, so they were all recorded like individually in people's houses and then sent in to me, and I put them all onto my machine and
then
mixed
they'd
it all.
record themselves on their mobile phones and send the footage to me, and I'd stick the video together.
I'm always amazed still when I'm speaking with indie artists, all the things that, came out of that lockdown for everybody. I mean, there was some great innovations during that time. Like you just said, you all were in different rooms, different places. I know people, they were around the world and coming together and putting all this, into a finished piece. It's like just so many things, good things happen. Well, obviously a lot of bad things, but so many good things, especially for the indie music industry. A lot of good things came out of it.
I definitely learned how to edit videos. I had so much time on my hands. With COVID, it's like, let's give it a go.
Awesome. All right. So who does the songwriting?
It's a bit of everyone, isn't it?
We all contribute.
You all contribute?
Oh, yes, it's definitely a joint effort.
And so how does that work? I mean, I know that, individual, that's one way to go, but when you're a group and more than two, how do you start, or who starts, or do you just come to and say, I have this, this is what I have written down, let's go for it?
Yeah, pretty much that. Sometimes it'll be a backing track first and that we think that's really good. We've got to find some lyrics for this. But most of the time, I would say it comes from a set of lyrics. Would you? Would you disagree?
Sarah sends me some words and says, what do you reckon of those?
Well, a lot of the time, because I've been writing songs for many, many years, but I've never had the ability or knew the people to be able to take them any further than just basically a poem on a piece of paper. Right. But then over the years, I got to meet people and be able to say, look, what do you think this will work as a song? And there's some songs that have gone back donkey's years. I mean, we haven't done the angry one yet, have we?
We haven't done the angry one.
Fairy Tales and Promises. Fairy Tales and Promises came from like years and years and years ago. I was like in, not a great place at one point, and was miserable about it. I thought, right song. Then I chucked it at Pete a few years later, and he comes up with the back end, and
you threw it away,
and I put it in the bin, and then we wrote another one for Fairy Tales.
And you threw that one in the bin. You did. And then she has with her own backing track for it. So I wasn't for that one.
Oh god, that's funny. Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. It all flourishes and grows, and you all, you might put it aside or put it in the bin or whatever, and then all of a sudden you come together and you create this beautiful project. And I just happened to listen to that one the other day as well, and it's like, it's wow. That's the wow factor. And I think when you have the chemistry that you seem to all have and works so well for you, that even if you do drop it into the bin and say rubbish, but then you pull it out and then you create this beautiful piece. So I love that.
Yeah, me and Steve just do what we're told.
Yeah.
Another way it works, Deb. The female of the species.
I was trying to help you guys.
No, we just we know when we're beat.
Oh my gosh, I love that. All right, so a question that I've been asking indie artists this past year is about AI, artificial intelligence, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it in the music industry and visual art, since you also do videos as well. Have you or will you at some point use it as a tool with your music?
I already do. It's largely because in my day job, I'm a graphic designer, so I use it for that as well. But when I'm putting a video together, sometimes the clips, if you want to find the best clip, you sometimes have to pay for it. And even when you go searching for the clip and you're prepared to pay for it, you still can't find it. But in this day and age, I can say, look, I need a 3-second clip of somebody walking down the road in the rain, and it'll give it to me and I can use it in a video. But when it comes to my music, I use it because I don't have the skill set between being able to, I can write some lyrics, I know exactly what I want it to sound like and feel like in my head, but I don't have the skill musically to be able to, say, for instance, sit in front of a piano and say to people, this is how I want it to sound and feel. So I found it very useful with, some of the prompts that you give, you have to go for it like 1,200 times until you get the feel that you're actually looking for. And Pete was blown away when I first sent him my first AI track, but then when he looked a bit further into it, he wasn't impressed. And now it's like, well, I will use it, but I'm not doing that one because I don't like it. So.
There is a red line, even being a female of the species, I don't really like. Sarah sent me this particular song, and I couldn't quite get my head around what was actually going on. And then she said, it's it's an AI thing. I thought, oh, come on. Really? But it was actually very, very clever, and so we adapted it.
Yeah. We do that with songs. We do what we call Sato them. For instance, I can't sing like Freddie Mercury, but we'll Sato a Queen song, do it in our style, and I did the same with the back and try. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
My take on it is it's a great tool used in the right way, and obviously, just what you had said with using how you've used it, it's a great thing. I know other musicians and singer-songwriters that for different reasons have used it as well to help to build on to, as you said, you needed some help and, you couldn't quite sit down at the piano and put the tune together for it. I certainly couldn't do that either. So, yeah. And I've used it as well. Podcasting, sometimes I'll get stuck with questions. And, I just think as long as everybody's using it correctly, because there's always going to be the other side. Always going to be the other side.
I would draw the line at releasing one that was all AI. That's not us.
Would you put your music into a genre?
I had a thought, because I was just thinking, because like you said earlier, our tastes, the things we like are all different.
Yeah.
It would be almost impossible for us to agree on a genre.
Yeah.
Even if
we couldn't agree on the name.
Thought we had one, I'm sure we will see it and kind of describe it differently. So I don't
it's
think
more like
any...
the songs that we produce will probably fit into one genre or another.
Yeah, but there's no unifying overall specific.
If somebody said, let's do, a reggae song. Yeah, we'll do a reggae song, and that's the genre it'd fit into. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think it...
And I think for indie artists, you can tell me true or false, being an indie artist, that's one of the beauties of that, being able to cross over and not fit into one genre. You can do, as you just said, if somebody says, let's do a reggae, you're going to do a reggae or a folk song or a rock and roll. I think that's the beauty that I see of being an indie artist, is being able to be true to your heart with whatever the music might be.
Still be versatile.
Yeah, there's less expectation to sound the same with every song.
Let me ask you this. The song and video, It's Not Too Late. What's the story behind that song and video? And I'll get into it more, but that was about the time that our mutual friend had sent me this, and we'll talk about him later. This video, and Sarah, it brought me to tears.
Oh, bless you. No, it's actually Pete's brainchild, but...
Sorry, Pete.
Do something wonderful, but Well, Pete, I'll let you explain it because it was your baby.
Yeah.
I work for the wildlife trusts in the UK here, for not just wildlife trusts, for conservation charities. At that point, I think I was mainly working for marine conservation. Working there, I learned so much horrific detail about what is going on around the planet. And I wanted to say something about it. It's a big subject. It's something that I'm really, really passionate about, wildlife, but especially the plastic pollution. And when you see and you delve into a little bit more about the way we deal with plastic and the way that countries and governments, and we pride ourselves on being not political in any way, shape or form. So I don't want this to be a political statement at all. I don't think this is political. We've got to do something about the waste that we produce on this planet, and especially when it's plastic, because once it's there forever. It doesn't go away. So, that's where the inspiration for the song came from. Wanting to say something about let's just not throw it away. Let's actually not produce so much of it, because as soon as it's produced, that's it.
Excuse me. And people are not aware of it. So many people are not aware how the plastic, does harm the environment and the marine life and the damage it has done. People don't even think. And I'm going to say for myself too, sometimes you don't think. You just like, oh, it's here, it's plastic. And, one of the biggest, or not the biggest, but one of the, items that we throw away so easily is the rings, the holder for your soda cans, and how much damage that little thing can cause in the marine life. And why turtles?
Because at that time, I working for the Marine Conservation Society, there was a big thing about turtles, how they were getting like plastic straws stuck up their noses, how they were getting caught in that. There's one really horrific video of a turtle that had grown up basically inside of a net, and it was shaped like a figure of 8 because the net was constricting it. Just makes you think, we're just throwing this stuff around. We don't care, or we don't care enough, and we're not informed. I mean, I had no sort of thing was going on, and we need to be informed about this. I mean, there's all sorts of stories you could go into. I mean, there are places on the planet where they've had their rivers clogged with plastic, so they've got the army out. You'd think they'd take the plastic out of the river. No. We'll push it out to sea.
Yeah, let's do that.
Dealing with it, isn't it? It's just going to turn up. It's going to turn up and bite you on the bum again somewhere else.
Exactly. And again, I mean, getting this video out to other people and getting people to be aware of it, to have people just to take a moment before they throw out whatever plastic that's, and it's crazy how much plastic here in the States too, that is manufactured, and everything that you buy at the store, there's a piece of plastic that seems to be attached to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't need to be wrapping things like cucumbers or peppers in plastic. We don't need to be.
No. We'll have to do, and we should, because I have others that I have interviewed that are also are aware of this, and also, like to spread the word. So I think maybe I will have to get you all together and do a roundtable for that one as well, because it's so important. And it's not too late. That was released back in around March, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got that one right. And we have a mutual friend, and that's how I learned about Sarah and the others, and the rest is history. So during that time, C. Stevens was working on his EP, Destination Unknown, and Southern Grace became a topic of conversation. And I met C. Stevens, it's been a year ago. I had put out a blurb on Facebook, who wants to talk about the indie artist realm. And he and Michael Bate said, oh, I would love to. And I was like, okay. And that's the rest of his history as well. And so I was right at the beginning with C. Stevens on Destination Unknown. And Sarah, your voice and that piece, Southern Grace, it was just simply amazing. That one, for whatever reason, just really hit me. So let's fast forward to the buzz. We've got a buzz. You guys have a new release, a new collaboration with Sarah and the others and C. Stevens' Asphalt Jungle. So who approached you on this project?
Going back.
You have to go back a little bit further, yeah.
Go ahead.
Going back. I've never actually spoken to Shane. Never at all spoken to him.
No, we've only ever text messaged each other.
Yeah, it's only text message. And he first messaged me on a group chat on the studio that I use, a Mixcraft studio. And he said, could I listen to have a song, critique it, give him to... So I said, yeah, of course, but I'm no expert on this. I'm just finding my way. He listened to a couple of our songs and approached me and said, would Sarah...
Can I nick your vocalist?
Yeah, basically. And I said, oh, well, I'll see if she doesn't mind me passing her email on, and you can talk to her. So that's how that happened. Yeah, but I always wanted to sort of be involved as well, because I hate being left out. I hate being left out. And we had a backing track that had been like 2 different songs in a past life. One of them, Sarah binned. I still had the backing track.
I'm never going to be the last of that, am I?
I thought, this would be, if I adapted this a little bit, this would be a great idea to get Shane involved in this one, because it's more his genre of music,
right?
A bit rockier and heavier, and we could ask him to sort of get involved with it, and it would just be a good fun thing to do.
Yeah, he was straight on board, wasn't he? As well?
Yeah, he's a good guy. And obviously I like his music as well. All right, so then you got together and you put this incredible recording together. How does this work? Him being here, well, we kind of talked a little bit how it all works, but with him being here in the States and you over there in the UK, is it a lot of back and forth with transferring files?
Not really. It's just the wonders of technology, really, that make it all happen.
Yeah, so, I mean, I sent him the song. I said, play what you want. And he sent me a file back with his bit on it, and I just mixed it all in.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. All right. Wow. That is great.
And then we put it all together in the video. So
okay. And so the name of the song is
Writing on the Wall.
And there's a video that goes with it. And it's going to be released when?
We're going to release the audio track first, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, no, 29th of December.
You reckon we can get that bit done by then? Okay.
Yeah. 29th of December.
I can go with that date.
Yeah.
I've sent a sneaky peek over, haven't you?
Yeah, I've sent you the track over.
I was listening to it before we came on, and it is, people, you are going to love this one. This is such a great collaboration. I kind of had a fast track through because I got it just before we were going to start, but just even from the introduction of that piece, that opening is just amazing. I can't wait to listen to it a few more times because and you guys are just great. I just love this. And the collaboration with Shane is just absolutely great. It's amazing.
Well, it's a different style of guitar to what I normally do. And that's really what lifts it is like Shane's, what should we call it? Heavier feel.
Yeah.
It's like that top down, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it works with you. It works, all of you together just is such a great collaboration. And I can't wait to see the video because I have spoken with Shane, and I know he was out shooting, and I know that, he had sent his piece to you, right?
And his footage was so good that I've had to recall my voice and say, we are reshooting our footage because it's really bad.
And I'm not as camera friendly as
No. No, we're not.
Well, he is like just cool personified, though, isn't he? It's like
That is great. So the marketing, let me kind of ties in with your, with the release on December 29th of Writing on the Wall. What works for you? I know that everybody's been having issues with Facebook. Is it any different being over in the UK using Facebook? Have you run into issues? Do you use Facebook to do any marketing? And I know I'm just kind of throwing these questions out. And what does work for you?
I have to hold my hands up to say that we're not terribly good when it comes to marketing ourselves. Mainly, I don't think we ever envisaged need to. Word of mouth is good enough around here for local pubs and clubs and stuff. But then we started writing things. Yeah, and we will promote it on Facebook, but we're also on DistroKid, aren't we? So they put it up on all the other channels.
It's a full-time job. I mean, the marketing, aside from your passion of music and putting that together, marketing is really a full-time position.
Yeah, we need a marketing agent. We can't afford one of those. We will push it as far as we can on Facebook, but I mean, it's only us like putting, listen to our latest single and that's it. Or I put it out on all the platforms that I've got, which aren't that many because I do that many. I do Facebook, I do LinkedIn, I do Instagram. Yeah. So I'll put it out on those.
And you have a website.
Is it still up there?
I don't know.
Have you looked at our website, Deb?
Yeah. No, I look.
That's good. Yeah, the website has been dormant for a little while, hasn't it?
Because we've not been performing live for a while because due to illness and all sorts. So,
and because it's where we started out. I think Facebook has always been our main focus. That's where we first got together as a band. That's where we started out promoting and using as a tool to stay in touch with each other.
We kind of only had a website because you're supposed to, aren't you?
Yeah, I think generally a sort of standalone website is less of a thing these days than it ever used to be. And people tend to use whatever type of social media it is, that's how they follow people and how they stay in touch. Standalone website.
Yeah, and so anything that you can use to promote yourselves, and I'm looking forward to promoting this as well on the show, of course, on the podcast. because it's, for me, that's what I love to do, is to help all the indie artists, wherever I, possibly can. I know that it's not an easy, as I said, it's not easy because it's really a full-time job with the marketing. So, but I think this is a beautiful piece, and to have it for the end of the year and the beginning of the new year sets your tone for the 2025. Can't believe 2025. How did that happen?
We should have one not long after that, because we've got another one in the pipeline, haven't we?
Yes.
So you have another, because I was going to be one of my questions. What are you working on? What's coming up?
This one, the next one is one that is the one that I sent to Pete originally as AI, and then we Satoed it and turned it into our own. We originated it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that goes down. Partly started for that one because I'm more concentrating on this one.
So let me just go back to writing on the wall behind this song. What's the meaning?
Yeah, that was it goes back to, like, I chucked a backing track out that was perfectly usable.
So yeah, Sarah passed me Fairy Tales and Promises, and I wrote the song Fairy Tales and Promises, and she said, no, that's just the wrong feel. Okay, fair enough. And then I wrote another set of lyrics which were absolutely rubbish, and Sarah didn't even comment. So I knew that wasn't going to go anywhere. And it then lay dormant for a couple of years, and then I had this idea of getting Shane involved with us, and I thought, I'd just got to write some lyrics. And I sort of pondered about it for a couple of days, and I thought, I'm just going to sit down and write a whole load of trash, and then Sarah will...
Yeah, he sent me some lyrics, and I kind of like removed the cheese from it, and ended up,
I do write a whole lot of cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, cheese. I'm so cheesy.
Well, that's why you all three collaborate so well. They help you take out that cheese.
They like cheese. That's it.
I like that, though. So it all fits. It all, that's the writing on the wall.
There is a nod to Fairy Tales and Promises in the lyrics of Writing on the Wall, because we just felt it was unfair.
That's where it actually started. And interestingly, one of the lines that Sarah chucked out, I really like the line.
So you can use it again later.
Yeah, I'll probably chuck it somewhere else. I'd written, I ain't no Cinderella or something, and I'm not having that. I'm not singing that.
Oh yeah, I like that though.
Yeah,
we all need a little Cinderella in our life. Do you guys ever disagree?
Yeah.
We disagreed on the band name, didn't we?
Oh,
yeah, right.
When it comes to, even just as a cover band, when it comes to what songs we're going to cover, every time we think we should add some new stuff to the list.
There's always one face in the room that's going, nah, I don't think so.
And that's what balances you all out.
Yeah, we get the atmosphere can get a bit like heated sometimes when it's like
It's all not
heated in that way, just in like we can't agree on something, so usually we have to just like throw the whole lot out.
Disagree with that.
Well, let me take you guys out of that one. Let me go right, since we just went left. What advice would you give another indie artist starting out these days? Because it's a very tough, competitive industry.
Don't give up.
Have fun.
Yeah, don't give up. Just keep going.
You've got to do it because you want to do it and because you enjoy doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Don't cry at the knockbacks and enjoy when you're not knockbacks.
I mean, I always dreamed about being a rock star. Of course I did, especially when I was a kid.
I want to be a rock star.
But
we're not doing that one.
It's never something that I expected either, and so it's been like a secondary. It's been my saviour. It's been my fun. It's been where I go to when I'm being rubbish. Just go and pick up the guitar, plug it in, and make some loud noise.
Yeah, life's pretty dull without it, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you this question. The numbers. It is a numbers game sometimes. Do you get into that numbers game where, if you're on Spotify and you're streaming and you have so many monthly listeners, or if you're on Facebook and you have so many followers, if you're on any of the other platforms, again, it's always the numbers. And I understand that you do want to see where your music is in the industry with other indie artists. For me, we got into a discussion about Facebook Facebook. And the question is, would you rather have where the indie artists are following each other and streaming the music, which is great because you always find something that you like in other genres. But wouldn't you rather have a true fan who does follow you because they love your music, that they, continually stream your music because they enjoy it? Not to say that, everybody does not enjoy your music, but that they come back and they look for that new music. They're waiting for your next release and they're so excited, they're getting a little hint of that you're working on something. Would you rather have that as a fan being your follower than the indie artists continually doing this back and forth with I'll follow you if you follow me?
Absolutely. I don't think we do the indie artist I'll follow you. I mean, yeah, we've done it with Shane, I guess.
Shane.
But I mean,
I think partly I don't. Maybe I'm underselling it, but I don't ever feel we are the sort of band where there are people out there going, I can't wait for their next release. It's just, anyone out there wants to listen to our new release? Here it is.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have a little bit of both. It's nice to have some fun.
Yeah. I'm a little bit older, so I'm going to put that age out there. For me, when, I couldn't wait to get to the music store. Oh, the record store. And be able to go and buy that newest release by whatever artist I was looking for at that time. And for me, back then it was vinyl, I couldn't wait to get there. And that's how back then, there was tracked by how many albums, CDs then. And heck, I even started with 8 tracks. Oh my God. Cassettes and vinyl and everything else. So I can't, nowadays, why wouldn't you want that too?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, we can do a vinyl.
Vinyl.
Yeah, we can do a vinyl.
I used to love that being on vinyl. When you go and buy whatever you were interested in at the time, for me, it was like, I hope they put the lyrics on the sleeve.
Yeah, right? The lyrics was important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
This I've got to mention this because this only came out the other day. I told you she used to sing with me. We used to do a cover of Don Henley, Boys of Summer. Came up in conversation because it came on the radio. It came up in conversation with the kids, and they said something about the Boys of Summer, Don Henley, and she said, "Oh, I don't know that song." And I said, "What do you mean you don't know that song?" And she said, "I've never heard it before." I said, "You used to sing it." I said, "Yes, you did." And I sang it to her and she said, "Oh, I've been singing it wrong." She was singing Poison Summer after the Poison Summer was gone. Quite nice, but shows the importance of having lyrics.
It is.
I thought the lyrics to, what is it called? What was that song called? Tin Roof. Busted. What's it called? Love Shack. That's it.
Oh, yeah, Love Shack.
I don't know where you were going.
I always thought the bit where she goes, tin roof, rusted. I always used to think it was Henry, busted. Like he got caught down to Love Shack.
But it's true. You need the lyrics. I love it. Oh, you guys are great. I have enjoyed this so much, and I've been looking forward to that for sure. So let everybody know where they can find you, your email, streaming platforms, etc.
The major streaming platforms.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
So our main social media is our Facebook page and Instagram. And we do have a band email, which is sarahandtheothers@gmail.com.
That's it, Sarah and the Others. That's right.
It doesn't like it, but that's...
I'm going to change that URL. Same type.
But don't listen to us on Spotify. Find somewhere else.
I appreciate you being here today with me. I have enjoyed this conversation. I am looking forward to the release of Writing on the Wall, Sarah and the Others, in collaboration with C. Stevens' Asphalt Jungle. It is a beautiful song. I have enjoyed it. I'm going to be listening to it again several times. Thank you, Sarah, P. and Steve, for joining me today.
Thanks,
Thank you very much for having us.
You are welcome.